Someone's gotta change. Someone's gotta change.
What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Restless in the City podcast. I am your host, Saisha René. First of all, I have to just tell you guys I am uber emotional right now. I just caught up on the end of, we're on season 17, Grey's Anatomy. I just caught up with episode 2. The 15 seconds before the show ended, we got a glimpse of McDreamy, Derek McDreamy Shepherd, Patrick Dempsey, is back on Grey's. Did you hear what I just said? Like, that's it. That's the end of the show. I've got nothing else to give you guys. So many emotions. Like, what is going on right now, Shonda? I feel like I'm still grieving O'Malley, and he passed away. Not passed away. That's too easy. He died an awful death, like season 4. I can't even remember. It was early on with Grey's. So O'Malley was obviously my favorite character of all time. And then I'm split between Mir and Izzy being my second. So O'Malley dies. Izzy, she left before Yang. So Izzy is diagnosed with brain cancer, or she had a brain tumor. I can't remember which it were. But then Izzy leaves. Yang moves away. So we're stuck with Alex and Mir. And I'm holding on to them for dear life. I will say that Alex's character grew on me, right? So, in the beginning, Alex was like he was a scumbag, bottom of the barrel. He was just an awful person. King Douche Lord, the king of kings of everything awful. That's how I view Kara at the beginning of this. And then I think he grew on me. He switched specialties. He moved over to peds. First off, I'm a mom. So any man that takes care of children, that loves children, that nurtures children, and that makes children their priority, swoon, like you've got me. And so this is what happened. We got to see Alex's softer side come out once he switched over to peds. And that's when I realized Alex isn't really an awful person. Karev was just misunderstood. He had so much trauma growing up around him. I mean, so many things were going on. His mom was schizophrenic. His dad was an alcoholic and on drugs. He beat his mom. He was just exposed to so many traumatic life events that it was misdirected anger and unhealed trauma. And that's what this show is about. This is Restless in the City. I wanted to focus on not only mental health and how imperative it is for us to put ourselves first, because being under tremendous amounts of stress ultimately leaves us into making incredibly awful decisions. Like we can't function, and it causes a chain reaction of, it compounds terrible things to follow once we, choose to take the wrong paths, and it starts from stress. So I was excited to see Alex, bring out his character the way that he did, like the character development process on that, from being a douche lord to being this guy that stood up for girls. Mayor Joe, he's in the NICU department, switched specialties to peds. We got to see his mom, a few episodes with her and him, coming to terms with it's okay that his mom is this way. He doesn't need to be embarrassed. And, he pushed Joe Wilson, his fiance, to counseling, to therapy. They healed themselves. And then, right when I could not love Alex anymore, Shonda writes him off. I'm hurt. I'm butthurt over it, but I'm not angry because he goes back to Izzy, my favorite. So I'm not upset about that. And they have 2 children. Like, what is going on? This, being a Grey's Anatomy's fan will have you like totally on cloud 9 one day, and then the next day you're just, can't even get out of bed. So I'm super excited to see McDreamy back. I do want to touch on the end of season 16. There was a situation where a patient came in. We found out she was a victim of human trafficking. And so DeLuca's character, everyone was thinking, this was the bipolar disorder creeping in. It was like bound to happen. His father was diagnosed and ended up losing his license in Italy. I think they were in Italy when this happened. So all the red flags were there, the signs were there, red flags were raised, and everyone was just thinking DeLuca was spiraling out of control. They're like, Andrew, get yourself together. It's her aunt. She's not a victim of human trafficking. You have to stop this. So Bailey threatens to, kick him out of the program. He's not welcome into Grey Sloan. They send him home if he refuses treatment. So I was kind of floored because I couldn't understand how Shonda did not provide closure by, they formed the human circle around DeLuca and allowed the victim of human trafficking to leave with her aunt. I was just like, people, call the authorities. Like, what is going on? Does anyone see what I am seeing? So they left, the show ended, and then we have to wait for season 17 to premiere to find that same victim come back to the hospital. Now, mind you, DeLuca's at home on the couch. He's probably not able to practice medicine anymore, just from trying to help her. And so I was confused on that. So I am happy that the victim came back to Grey Sloan, and she was like, I am a victim of human trafficking. And so that was the closure that we needed. I hate when the bad guys get away. So bright side of that, glass half full perspective, I am excited that DeLuca agreed with Mayor to get treatment. He sought treatment to keep the mania from, from surfacing. He said once he's restless, if he becomes compulsively obsessed of something, it causes his behaviors to change. So I am happy that he knows his triggers. I mean, there's just so much to love about Grey's. It's so relatable. By the way, I am going to leave some links in the caption regarding ways that you can get help if you are contemplating suicide or going through a rough time. And not only do I have personal resources for advocates of mental health, but I will leave some suicide prevention numbers at the bottom of this link. So make sure that you take good use to help to assistance if you need it. I mean, you're just never alone. There are so many people that are willing to talk to you to help you dissect, problems that have resurfaced, or, if you're suppressing them or as they arise. You're not alone in this. We've all been there. That's what this show is about. I feel like I wanted to start a social experiment on bringing people together on such relative topics, from shows to things that are going on in real time, social injustice, political agendas that are being thrown at us. Like, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. Just so much is going on. So it's so important that we stay healthy and that we love each other. That's all I have for today. You can join me here on Wednesdays and Saturday nights from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. I'm no longer restless after getting this off of my chest. So I thank you for joining me. There is a call-in number that I am going to leave. It's 563-999-3611. Make sure that on the times that I am live, Wednesday nights and Saturday nights from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m., that you call in, chat it up with me, kick back, share your thoughts.
Someone's gotta change.